What's up, kiddies? Kris Gethin here. You are listening to the Knowledge and Mileage podcast. I want to begin by thanking Brian at Tree City Advisors here, who allows us to use this beautiful podcast office. He actually runs a radio show out of this office, and he's allowed us to use this facility for free of charge. Should I say that? Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe he charges everybody else that comes in here. And it's absolutely awesome. It's way too pretty for a short, scruffy Welshman like myself to be in here. But I'm getting comfortable being here now. I don't think I'm going to leave. I love this place. Anyway, thank you, Brian. Really, really appreciate it. So today, I am going to talk to you about battling depression. I get so many messages from people. Maybe I seem troubled. I get a lot of people who deal with different types of depression. There's, varying degrees, obviously. Some people are suicidal, some people aren't, some people have mild forms, some people are confused with whether it's bipolar, whether it's depression, whether it be anxiety, or all of the above. So this is something that I definitely want to address. I do respond to these people who do message me because I really think that, somebody who's going through a lot of trouble and doesn't know where to reach out, social networks do provide that place where no one's going to judge as much. No one's making eye contact. They don't feel like they're being looked upon. And, people can hide behind an AKA name on this. So, that's absolutely fine by me. So, I don't know how qualified I can be to help anybody here. I'm not qualified, but I'm going to give you a little bit of advice from personal experience because I have dealt with a little bit of it myself. I wouldn't say that it's severe, but I've definitely had it through varying degrees in various parts of my life, and sometimes I still do, which does provide a lot of guilt because I will often think to myself, well, I've got a beautiful girlfriend. I live in a beautiful part of the world. I have my health. I look absolutely amazing. Okay, the last bit's a lie. Why do I feel depressed? I feel guilty for feeling depressed when I know there's people in third world countries or people serving, protecting our country. And here I am eating whatever I want, driving in a Jeep. And I've got a fantastic opportunity where I travel around the world. I meet people who want to meet me. I have people who will watch and ask questions on my socials and watch my videos, read my books. I have a gym franchise and I'm a CEO of the best supplement company in the world. Why on earth am I depressed? What is wrong with you? And then that will lead to more depression via more guilt. And then you have this vicious cycle set in. So let's go through this. I don't know where to start, but let's start at the beginning. So depressed people generally show a higher inflammation. And these are called cytokines that can be shown in the blood, and this can really slow down brain cell growth. So I always say that it comes from really taking care of yourself first. And when I say taking care of yourself, food, nutrition, all these things have a role, such as your exercise releases endorphins. But number one, I say food is a big culprit that can lead to inflammation, which provides more cytokines in the blood, and which has been shown that depressed people have more cytokines. So what does that tell you? Try to work on cleaning up your diet as much as you possibly can. Now, if you are a person that is dealing with depression, however, you feel that you're already eating relatively well, have you tried eating foods that you know haven't been sprayed with pesticides, that you know isn't genetically modified, that you know haven't been fed animals haven't been fed grains that could possibly have mold toxins, that could be filled with antibiotics? Are you eating humane raised? Are you eating organic? Are you eating locally grown? Are you eating, God, I can't even spit it out, grass-fed? Grass-fed, I said it. So if you look at all these things, in regards to your nutrition, there's so much that you can possibly clean up. You could be possibly having too much soy, genetically modified soy, just in your soy sauce that you're having. All it takes with some people that are extra sensitive is a tiny trigger. If I think about some sort of mold toxins that could be found in a chocolate, that could be found in red wine, that could be found in a grain, these mold toxins can have a high inflammatory response to sensitive individuals. So that's why, like in my house, for instance, I always have the windows open. I don't care if it's winter outside. I don't care if it's summer outside. The windows are open. I want to have as much fresh, dry air within the house as possible. I don't want to be exposed to possible mold that could be in the air conditioning units, that could be in the walls, that could be in the damp air, because I'm very, very sensitive to it myself. I went to a clinic several years ago which showed that I'd been exposed to mold toxins. My serotonin and dopamine levels were terrible. I had to have IV for about 6 weeks, which really helped clean me up, but I have to really work at it now. I know if I go into a hotel or into an area that has high mold toxins, I can feel it pretty much straight away. So when I do travel, I take glutathione with me, high levels of ALA and glutathione. And generally, I will really increase my dosage when I'm traveling because I don't know what I'm going to be exposed to when I'm in planes, when I'm at the airport, when I'm at my hotel. And most hotels, I cannot open those bloody windows. It's a pain in the ass. But that's what I have to deal with. You know, I've been given this awesome opportunity of this position. I'm going to take it, and I'm not going to let these bloody mold toxins take that away with me. Take it away from me. I'll also have, now I have, a travel Himalayan salt lamp. I want those negative ions, baby. I'll always, maybe have some candles with me. So whenever I'm going somewhere that's taken me out of my normal comforting environment, I'll actually take some things that feel familiar. Have a smell, lavender in that hotel room. So I feel calm, I feel relaxed, I feel chilled out. Okay, so there is also been shown in tests on depressed people who suffer with depression that they have high levels of oxidative stress and low levels of antioxidants. So this may sound like a shameless plug, but this is why I drink, or one of the reasons I should say, I drink Hydrocharge all day. Hydrocharge is an antioxidant, an electrolyte drink from Caged Muscle. It's naturally flavored, naturally colored, and it helps me drink more water, which is going to help me transport more nutrients, feel better mentally. Generally, if you're dehydrated, you're going to deal with headaches, and that's the last thing that you want when you're dealing with depression. So I'll drink Hydrocharge all day to ensure that I'm keeping my antioxidant levels higher, because I go through a lot of free radical damage and oxidative stress, not just with stress, and obviously if I'm dealing with depression, I'm going to have higher oxidative stress. But through exercise, I am going through oxidative stress and a lot of free radical damage. So that is why I drink my antioxidants all day. I'll try to have lots of low sugar fruits, darker fruits, such as my blueberries, and then further from that, my cranberries, my strawberries, my raspberries, and keep my antioxidant levels high. And also, they have shown within these people as well that they have lower levels of omega-3s. So get your fats up, your high omega-3s from your fish, maybe from your fish oils, your EPAs, your DHAs. They've found this in a lot of vegans as well, because they will try to get their fats through hemp seeds, through fat seeds. However, they do not convert in the brain as high, nowhere near as high. They do not convert to the EPA and DHA as if you were actually taking it from, for instance, like a fish or a meat form. Okay, so make sure you get your omegas high, especially if you're a vegan. Same with your vitamin B, your B12s, your vitamin D, get out in the sun, and zinc and magnesium. So again, with the electrolytes, hydrocharge, making sure that I'm getting those key electrolytes, those 5 key electrolytes, is very important, especially to those that are dealing with depression, because you've got low levels of your zinc and your magnesium. Get them up. Okay, and one other thing that I like to do to ensure that I get plenty of magnesium into my system, I'll take magnesium baths in the evenings as well. So I'll generally try to get in a sauna because that makes me feel good. I have a clear light sauna at home that doesn't allow any EMFs, doesn't allow that radiation, and that detoxifies me. It makes me feel good, makes me feel calm. I have lavender in as well. Then I'll go upstairs and have my magnesium bath, which is very calming. And I'll also have some lavender in there as well. Now, make sure that when you're having your lavender, that it is a natural form of lavender. It's a natural extraction that is in your bubble bath or your shampoo or your wash. Because if you have a synthetic form of that has been shown and proven to raise your estrogen levels, which we do not want. We don't want. And further from that, they've actually done studies on this. And I looked at the most recent, actually, of the statistics. There's been an increase in antidepressant drugs over the past 15 years. Have a guess. Have a guess. In just 15 years. How old were you 15 years ago? I'm not going to tell you how old I was. 65%. 65% increase in antidepressant drugs over the past 15 years. Have you said, do you think we've become that much more depressed? Or are doctors not looking at the root cause of our gut microbiome, our nutrition, our deficiency, our exposure, our contaminants? Or are they just medicating us more, which can potentially make us worse? Okay, so as I quickly mentioned before, exercise, get outside. This is very hard for people when you're fighting depression, because I've been there and the last thing I want to do is get out and exercise. I want to sit indoors with the curtains closed, watch TV, probably eat bad food. I won't do that. But that is what you are torn between. You know what's going to be good for you, but you want sympathy, and you know what's going to be bad for you. And it's like a way of self-harm. You think, you know what? I'm depressed. I'm down. I don't deserve any better. So I'm just going to stay here. I don't deserve to be taking up anyone's space. I don't want to bother anybody. I'll just stay here in my room. It's not the way to go. You have to force yourself to get outside, take in the outdoors, go for a walk. Don't even listen to the headphones. Listen to the birds. Listen to the sound of the stones, the sand, the grass under your feet. Try this as well. I did this today. You may think I'm a right hippie, but I try to earth myself. So after I got out of the sauna, I just stood on the grass. It was raining outside, by the way, and I stood outside in my boxer shorts on the grass while it was raining, just so I could actually be outdoors with the feeling of the grass underneath my feet and earthing myself. Makes you feel good. Could be placebo, but try it. So getting outside, obviously, if you are one of these people that is active and you're always in a gym, hitting your cardio twice a day, hitting your workout, whatever, it's too much time indoors. Get outside. I said to Sunshine as we was on the way here, should we take our gym stuff? I meant, let's take our outdoor stuff, hit cardio. I said, let's go for a run outside. She said, no, I want to go and do cardio in the gym. But she decided Kris is always right. So we're going to go for a run outside. It may not be, as you may not think going outside for a walk or run is going to be as intense as maybe hitting a Stairmaster, but it is good for your brain. Get outside, get into the hills, get into the park, anywhere. Just get outside, get some of that vitamin D, and open yourself up to the outdoors. Even if you're in a built-up area in LA, listen to the sounds of the trash truck and enjoy that, will you? Take it all in. Infrared sauna. Now, this is something that may not, you may not all be exposed to or have have that available to you. But infrared sauna, I really, really do like it. As I said, I have a clear light sauna at home, which really does help me. I try to get in there about 4 or 5 times a week. If you don't have one of those, get in a normal sauna after your workout, and you'll be surprised how good that can possibly make you feel from a calming perspective. Make sure that you're hydrated though, but it really does help detoxify you. If we're taking in a lot of heavy metal contaminants, that can be in cheaper supplements, it can be in larger fish that we consume. You want to really chelate this. You want to actually detox this as many ways as you possibly can. Not only will it help you sweat and detox through natural sweat detoxification, but it will also help regrow and grow these heat shock proteins that are very healing to our mitochondria and our DNA. So I'd suggest that you try to get in there for 20 minutes, sweat it out several times a week, and let me know how you feel. Further from that, if you've got the balls for it, get straight into a cold shower. It's invigorating, and it really does make you feel better. And it's good for recovery too, and inflammation. So, number 5, your nutrition. Make sure you get in plenty of vegetables. I always say go for the rainbow. Go for your different colors of peppers, your tomatoes, your lettuce, your cucumber, your carrots. Get as many colors, your purple cabbage, into your body as possible. These all have these phytonutrients, these antioxidants, the fiber needed for your body to flourish. If your body flourishes, your brain flourishes as well. Same with your fats. Increase your fats. If you're worried about your calorie ratio, pull your carbohydrates down. Remove yourself of gluten altogether. You never know. You could be a sensitive individual to gluten. However, you don't feel it in the gut. You've become accustomed to it. And you don't feel it in the brain because you feel you've become accustomed to it. But if you have this systemic inflammatory response, which keeps signaling this chemical response to your brain, you could be fighting depression because of the gluten that you're eating. That protein within your stomach can sensitize you so you have this depression response, but you don't know it because you don't know any better. So remove it from your diet altogether for the time being and increase your fats, your good fats from your egg yolks, your fish, your oily fish, your olive oil, your coconut oil, your avocado, your seeds, your nuts. Increase those fats. Maybe your MCTs. I like to have some brain octane fuel from Bulletproof. Put that in your coffee. And, I know he goes for the Dave Asprey, who owns a company. He has the grass-fed butter that he puts in there as well. Maybe try that. I don't do that personally, but give it a shot. All these things can really help. Your polyphenols, really increase your polyphenols. Get your herbs, your spices like your turmeric are really good for anti-inflammatory responses. Look at diversifying your food, and making sure that your supplements aren't contaminated with heavy metals. So that's why with Cage Muscle, we will ensure all of our products are Prop 65 Act certified of heavy metal contaminants, because I know firsthand the effects that this can have on the brain, not only the body, but the brain as well. So, there's a lot of people out there fighting this, and a lot of people within the fitness industry, because a lot of people reach towards bodybuilding, endurance sports, or fitness, or something like that as a way of, number one, getting away, and number one, to hide behind a bigger shell to provide you with more confidence that you can hide behind. But it still doesn't get rid of the underlying problem. You can feel better for sure. It releases the endorphins every time that you train, every time you hit that PR, every time that you hit that extra mile, every time that you cross that finish line of that 5K or the Ironman or ultramarathon. Every time you participate, that journey becomes a little bit easier on you, but it still doesn't fight the underlying root. And obviously I could go into much, much, much more in depth in this, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to make claims. I can certainly bring one on that I know that's a specialist in this. However, these are all things that are simple applications that every single one of you can do right now. There's no reason why you can't start hitting cardio out in the sun. There's no reason why you can't start having more color on your plates. There's no reason why you can't remove yourself with a lot of the artificial colors and the flavors and the ACEs and the dyes and the heavy metal contaminants, the gluten. There's no reason why you can't do that right now. When it comes to, things like beer, wine, as I said, try to, keep that at bay. Try to stay away from, a lot of the contaminants, the oxidative stress, and remove yourself of a lot of the mold toxins that you can find in those foods that I mentioned. A lot of grains. Unfortunately, here in the US, we are exposed to a lot of those mold toxins that, of course, we cannot remove ourselves from them completely, and I certainly can't, but I try to control it whenever I can. And it's the same with these bloody darn phones that give out the EMF rays and the Wi-Fi and then the computer and then the TV. I can't eliminate it, of course. My work is mainly on it, but I control it as much as I possibly can. Put it on airplane mode. I even have the glasses that block out the blue light if I have to go on my computer or my phone later in the evening or early in the morning when I know I don't want to raise my cortisol levels, because that is another stress hormone that can ravage my body, not just from a muscle building perspective or performance perspective, but from a mental perspective and from a longevity perspective, because I want to be here for a long time. I'm just getting started, baby. And I want to make sure that I have good health, not only from the neck down, but from the neck up. Some of us have to work harder at it than others. Some people don't have to worry about it, but some of us do. Just like some of us have bad genetics. But you look at somebody who has a tiny waist and full muscle bellies, maybe they have great genetics and they never really have to worry about their diet or their training as much as we do. We have to work at it every single day. So I'm counting on you to give me that consistency and that commitment. Can I get it? And if you do have any questions, if you do feel like that you need to talk to somebody, obviously reach out to a specialist that is out there that can help. But I'll do whatever I can as well. So send me a message if you do have any issues, and maybe we can navigate some of those together. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening to me today. Please do subscribe to this podcast. If you like what you hear, share it with someone else and get them to subscribe too, because this costs me a lot of money to put this on every week, but I'll continue to do so because you give me the platform and purpose and allow me to do it. So thank you very much. I am Kris Gethin. This is a Knowledge and Mileage podcast. I am out.